one and all, it's my review of Doc Stone, Chapter 143, Ryu vs. Senku. And while I have just so very much to say about this chapter, before any of that, I just need to talk about this full page. Just Jesus freaking Christ, this shot is absolutely amazing. Probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen drawn in Shonen Jump ever. I mean, if it wasn't for the ship here, I would think this is an actual photograph with how beautifully well done, how well drawn this is. It's absolutely amazing and breathtaking. Once again, it just proves Boichi is like the greatest manga artist to ever live. Very impressed with this. I mean, it's such great work, the character posing and all that, but this is just something next level that I had no idea he was capable of, and I just freaking love it. I cannot wait to see what he does next, and besides just its raw beauty, it just does such a freaking amazing job at portraying how tiny the ship is in this huge, wide ocean. How overbearing the sea really is. And we see that even more later on when this huge, massive ship, this pinnacle of human scientific engineering everything, is just tossed around the waves like it's nothing. So yeah, so just a really great shot, really great way of showing the size of the freaking ocean they're in. Alright, so let's get into the rest of the chapter. So we start off with our level reporter showing off her voice recording machine, which, honestly, great first step. I could definitely see this leading to them actually having movies down the road. That'd be really cool, but this also just has such a possibility of becoming a relic of the future, a remnant of the first generation, the people who rebuilt the world from the ground up. I mean, seriously, that's freaking awesome. Just 1,000 years in the future, teachers showing off this voice recording of the first time the new world, the new generation, managed to record what they were doing and just left a mark for future generations to hear and to experience. That's just so freaking awesome, and I love that. And then she decides to interview the entire team. It's pretty interesting. I do love Tsukasa right here. As he's talking about guns coming back in the world and how he stop it, he says, "I cannot allow that. They will not defile science with blood," which I think is a very impressive turnaround from who he was in the beginning, who he used to be. In the first few chapters, he viewed science as a threat, something that would create bloodshed, but now he realizes science is neutral. Whatever creation or discovery science makes, it isn't implicitly good or evil. I mean, just look at the petrification device. Everyone viewed that as evil, but for Tsukasa, it saved not only his life, but the life of his sister, who was in a coma for 10 years and frozen in stone for 3,000 years. Very difficult life that little girl has had. And right after he woke back up, he ended up leaving her alone again? That's mean. You brought Suka along. She could have used a friend. Huh, that's weird. Alright, we'll get into that. But yeah, like I was saying, he doesn't want guns and gun violence to ruin science, to defile science, to just create more issues. So he's going to keep protecting science and keep people from abusing its powers for their own selfish gains. I do think he's going to have a harder time at that than he realizes, because we Americans, we really seem to like our freaking guns. I mean, not me personally. I have no interest in them, but I've certainly seen and argued with people about the need to have them, and I can guarantee you if this really happened, the world really turned stone for 3,000 years, and you woke up Americans in a new Stone Age, they would still argue, well, the Constitution says we get to have our guns. Even though that piece of paper has long since turned to dust. So yeah, their plans to stop guns from coming back to the New Age, that could end very badly right here and now. That might be a big issue we have to deal with this arc, but we'll see what happens. I mean, it could definitely be arguing, oh, they need it for hunting, they need it for taking out the wild bears and the wild tigers, and whatever the heck else is roaming around the new America, but oh, it's just gonna end badly. I can already see that happening. Alright, next up she interviews Jen, who's all about those pretty foreign girls he wants to hang out with, and yes, we do have very beautiful women over here, I will give him that. But he also wants to see the Statue of Liberty, which is on the opposite side of America that he's going to, which is going to be a little hard to reach, but is it still standing? That's the big question. And honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I feel like the pieces could still be there, but the inner workings might have fallen apart. Because, the Statue of Liberty, she isn't solid. She has metal framework and the whole copper parts all around her, so I could see, the framework having broken down and then her just lying in pieces all around Ellis Island. Maybe? Not sure about that, but I would really like to see what happened to that. What's New York look like right now? We still have yet to see a major city, and I think New York would just be, the best example of that. How time has really hit things, and Once again, Boishi would definitely show off some amazing skill, just drawing whatever parts, remnants, little bits and pieces could still remain from what was once the most populated island in the world, basically. Oh, that'd be fun. Suka's super happy that they actually invited her on this trip. You know, they were really mad at her for stowing away the last time, but she was so useful and like saved their butts so many times. They eventually decided, you know what? Let's just bring her along this time. She's probably gonna be a really big help. And even our lovely reporter has to say that. I've actually never seen you not being helpful, which is so freaking true. I've honestly lost count of the number of times Suka has saved the day. You know, she helped find the oil. She led the armed men away from the village when they were being attacked. She created distractions so they could steal the mobile lab from their ship. So many times she saved the day. Seriously, she is always being helpful and I freaking love her. So she is probably more useful, but I still wish they could have brought Suka's little sister along. I feel like, you know, Suka could have had a friend to spend this whole trip with, and that would have been really nice. We could have had some great moments between the two of them. Sadly, it does not seem to be the case, unless maybe we just haven't seen her yet, or maybe she stowed away too, but she literally just got her big brother back, and now he had to leave her again. That's really freaking depressing. Of course, Kazuki and Chrome are too obsessed with the recording device to actually say anything about the trip, because of course they are. I mean, really. This thing that can actually record a human voice and play it back it's basically would have been magic to them just a year or two ago. And I'm really hoping this eventually leads to them having, like, film and movies down the road. Like, maybe when Senku gets back to Japan, he'll be able to show off, like, videos of what America was like. That could be really fun. I like to see that, but we'll see what happens. Kirasami is, of course, as stone-faced as ever. I'm here because the master ordered it, and that is all. Until she's asked about Kinro. And then she gets a little flustered right there. So, Kirasami and Kinro? I could ship that, certainly. I mean, I assume she'd end up with Soyuz because he's her master or whatever, but I guess she's more of the protector of the royal bloodline rather than a joiner of it, I guess. I'm very curious to see what ends up happening with Soyuz, who he ends up marrying down the road. That's going to be interesting. Oh, maybe Amaryllis. That could make sense. She kind of confessed her love to him the first time she saw him, even if she was trying to manipulate him, but still. Anyway, she's absolutely freaking in love with Kinro, which I love. And as for him, well, he says, she's a skilled warrior to be sure, perhaps even stronger than me. I'll have to train harder so as not to lag behind, which, fair enough, you know. Them sparring back and forth, that could definitely lead to some sparks. I'm very excited to see what's happening with those two. That's going to be funny. Matsukaze has decided that he's going to get revenge on the Y-Man for taking him away from his master. And Jinro apparently tried to get out of this journey by pretending his legs had stopped working. But Matsukaze just picked him up and carried him right on the ship, which, of course he did. Oh, poor Jinro, why? You were doing so good on the island. You were doing so good. I was so proud of you, and now you're awful again. Well, at least you're not as arrogant as you were after you got Matsukaze. That's an improvement. That's definitely an improvement. And then Senku and Ryu started fighting one another over the proper route to take, and without even considering any of their arguments, I read this, I'm like, okay, Ryu's definitely right about this. Senku is not. Because as much as Senku is essentially the leader of the entire world at this point, yeah, Senku's basically the leader of the whole world. Interesting. They are on a ship, and therefore the captain is in command 100%, absolutely. No king or god or anyone else can tell a captain what to do on his own ship, because, you know, he's the captain. He is in command in that space. He controls, he decides what happens. And I do just love Taiju coming in to break up this fight, just literally just throwing them both into the opposite walls. Oh, his strength is insane. It's hilarious. I love it. And the beta is actually rather interesting. Ryu wants to follow the rum line, essentially stick on one latitude and follow straight to America. It takes 70 days. And, of course, everyone's like, oh, well, straight line, isn't that the most efficient way? Which, you know, for Chrome and Suka, I can understand them thinking that, but dear Taiju, you know the Earth is round. You've known that your entire life. You should be able to figure out what's wrong with that logic there. I mean, Senku even needs to pull out some freaking ropes just so we can really demonstrate, no, because the Earth is curved. If we go up and around, we use the curvature of the Earth to our own advantage, and therefore, you know, we can save a whole lot of time and get there in 40 days. You know, at this point, I'm like, wait a minute, wouldn't Ryu have known that? I mean, yeah, Senku is a scientist, but Ryu is a master of ships. I mean, that's his whole thing. If he doesn't know that, we might need to find a new captain. But the issue here is it's a catch-22, because the Great Circle route is really freaking hard to do. I mean, it requires constant adjustments, navigations, changing, and as skilled as our team might be, they are not sailors. Only Ryu is, and so we basically need to work everyone half to death to make this work. But of course, on the other side, the issue that if they take a full 70 days to get there, they'll get there just as winter is starting, they'll be able to harvest any corn, and they'll basically be screwed. So yeah, not really sure which path to take, but I think there might be a bigger issue. Is corn still going to be there? I mean, if you've ever seen a picture of old corn compared to new corn, it's not really the same. It's barely even looks edible, but through countless generations of working on it, we managed to make it what we know today, big ears of corns. So how would 3,000 years without human intervention have changed corn? Would it still be growing as it used to, or would it have modified again? I mean, way back in chapter 3 or 4 or 5, I think it was, they came across cherry blossoms, and Senku actually had to clarify those weren't the same cherry blossoms they used to know, because those cherry blossoms don't grow without human intervention. Somehow, some way, over countless generations, over 3,000 years, they mutated and evolved to the point where they were able to grow all on their own. So what would have happened with corn? How has it changed? So I'm really curious what they're going to do with that, and if they're going to even address that whatsoever, but well, I guess we'll see. Anyway, yeah, so now people take sides. Of course, Jen's going to back Ryu because he does not want to do any more extra work, and of course, Kohaku's going to back Senku because she loves him. And because, you know, she always prefers the direct approach, getting things done as fast and quick as possible. And so they decide to fight, and then we get this shot of them both shirtless, and admittedly, Senku is more muscular than I expected, but Ryu looks like a freaking god mixed with a Super Saiyan right here. And I do not believe Senku has any chance of beating him. Thankfully, though, they decided for a slightly different route. As they are both dressed properly, they decide to play some poker. Because of course they do. You know, it's funny, when they announced they were going to the moon, I'm like, this is it, this is the final arc, we're going to enter it now, it's going to be the building spaceship, and then we're going to go into space, and that's going to be it, the series is ending. Oh my god, what am I going to cover after Dr. Stone ends, because Promised Neverland's ending, and My Hero Academia may be ending soon. Oh my god, I'm going to run out of stuff for my channel. Nope, not only did they announce we're going to have 5 separate arcs, before we can put the space shuttle together, and before we can go confront the Y-Man, now we're going to have a mini casino arc, because of course we are. Oh, this series just keeps getting distracted, and I would complain, but Senku and Ryu look really freaking cool in their suits, and I'm very excited to see how they play at poker. Of course, Suka and Chrome are very confused, so they don't know what poker is. And I'm really confused why they have a full poker set and cards all set up and ready to go. It feels like they were expecting this. And like I said, people already took sides. Jen teamed up with Ryu, and Kohaku teamed up with Senku, and I know Kohaku has really sharp eyes, incredible godlike eyes. She's going to be able to see through whatever card trick Jen ends up using. But I still think Jen's going to win. I just think that he's better at this. I mean, the way he reads and manipulates people, he's going to know exactly what to do, exactly when to raise, when to fold, when to do all that. I just really don't see him losing at this. And so next chapter we'll be introduced to the Perseus Luck Casino, and a battle of wits and wills will clash as they try to figure out what's the best route to get to America. Through poker. Like I said, I would complain more about this distraction, but I'm actually really excited to see how this goes. Like I said, I think Jen's the clear favorite to win here, even with Kohaku's eyes, but we'll see what happens. And I really just take a moment to say, and I really just have to take a moment to say how absolutely freaking amazing they all look in their casino outfits. I mean, Kohaku's dress here is freaking amazing. Love that. And I just really have to question why they brought these, like, top-of-the-line fancy outfits with them. At what point do they think they were going to need them in America? They want to be, like, dressed their best, and they woke up Americans to explain to them, hi, we're Japanese, we control the entire world, we need you to harvest corn, and you're not allowed to have any guns. Oh, that's going to go so badly. But yeah, just let me think of all this down below. Who the freak is going to win this? I also now just realizing Kohaku does not know the rules of poker. That might be a small problem. But we'll see what happens. Be sure to like and subscribe to the next video. And until then,
peace.